This is the Fume Hood team, and we are Juhyoung, Lynn, Samuel Mwase, and Daniel Winkelman. To begin, a fume hood is a ventilated enclosure where chemical reactions are carried out. Our client, Duke University Facilities, operates over 500 of these fume hoods, and when the sashes are left open, enormous amounts of energy is wasted. Our client estimates that this costs upwards of $30,000 a year. Our solution is a device which can automatically close the sash on a fume hood when they are not being used. Existing solutions are inadequate. Those based on behavioral modification, such as signage and general awareness, are inconsistent, and existing hardware retrofits are prohibitively expensive and hard to install. Hence, our solution.
Our prototype involves three main components: a system to detect user activity, a mechanism to close the sash, and manual overrides. The user detection system involves a Raspberry Pi with a camera mounted to the bottom corner of the opening. During installation, the installer tells the camera which region of the screen represents the inside of the fume hood. During normal operation, the Raspberry Pi scans frames for significant changes in pixels within the specified region, which indicate user activity. Whenever activity is not detected for 5 minutes, the sash is closed. After testing other possible methods, camera motion detection was the most reliable, unobtrusive, and easy-to-install means of detecting users.
The closing mechanism involves a cable chain driven by a motor similar to a rack and pinion. The cable chain is attached to the sash by a suction cup and is collected at the top of the fume hood in a spiral. The motor is attached to a gear train, and a separate gear hooks into the chain. The chain is only flexible in one direction, so it remains rigid while pushing the sash. The chain's ability to curl and flex means it can be stored outside of the fume hood, avoiding compatibility problems arising from varying amounts of space inside different fume hood models. Additionally, since sashes need a lot of force to lower, the motor requires gearing to generate enough torque. The most recent prototype increases the motor's torque by 2.6 times.
Finally, there are two manual override buttons provided for the user. When pressed, the first completely disables the device for 10 minutes and stops the sash if the device is closing. This feature was explicitly required by the client. The second is a feature added for user convenience, which tells the device to raise the sash as far as the user wants.
The body of the prototype fits within a 33 by 16 by 12 centimeter box. The major components are a Raspberry Pi, a camera, a 12-volt DC motor, and a cable chain. The rest were either small electronic components, like wires or resistors, 3D prints, or acrylic laser cuts. The Raspberry Pi met our image processing needs, and the camera was chosen for its resolution and small size. The motor was chosen for its output power and torque, while 3D printing and laser cutting allowed us to quickly and cheaply produce iterative prototypes. The electronics were temporarily attached with command strips, but in the future, the device will be attached with bolts.
The prototype satisfied many of the design criteria, but others remain to be tested. The constraints of having an automatic mechanism, having a manual override, and running on existing power supplies are all satisfied. The device closes in under 5 seconds. The cost of $190 is below the $300 limit, and the installation time of under 1 hour is below the 4-hour limit. No major safety concerns have been encountered, but overall integrity of the device will continue to improve as the design is refined. Furthermore, the motor and chain don't output enough force to injure people. Compatibility-wise, the device casing and chain length can be easily adjusted to fit the fume hood type. User experience, compatibility, user detection accuracy, and durability still need to be quantifiably tested.
Moving forward, we would like to design a casing for the wires, add motion detection for when the sash is closing, and increase the device's push and pull force. The fidelity of the individual components can also be significantly improved. We hope to minimize the obtrusiveness of the design to make the device sleeker and eventually bring our device into full production.